Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.
India needed a performance if they are to keep their campaign alive effectively, and they've got 166 runs is what they've downed Afghanistan by in Abu Dhabi a little earlier today. They lost another toss. They had to bat first. They had to do it the hard way. They posted the highest score in the tournament, and the bowlers have made light work of Afghanistan in that chase. This is Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. They still need other results to help them out, Tom, but they take a 66-run win to start off with, you think, after what happened against Pakistan and New Zealand.
Yeah, very much so. It was a much better performance from India. As you said, they probably wouldn't have batted first if they had the choice, but once they got to the crease, they really dominated and showed us exactly what they're capable of doing. All started with a quality, polished innings from both Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul, who set up a formidable total, and their bowlers, did the rest, which was made sure that they had a win, but it was a convincing win as well, which will help their net run rate.
Yeah, you'd think effectively they outbatted Afghanistan in this game, and the spotlight has not been on India's bowlers as much as their batters in the first two games. So the fact remains they only picked up 2 wickets in those 2 games, both to one bowler in Bumrah. So today, as probably the biggest test, or most, you could say, the most objective view of India's bowlers, what have you made of them? Ashwin seemed to put in a real performance. Maybe it's going to be hard to let him out of the team now.
Well, it's so much easier for a bowling attack when you bat well. It's one of those things that you tend to you tend to sort of look too hard at the bowling when really the batting hasn't given the bowling a chance to deliver their goods. And at the end of the day, you put runs on the board. It gives your bowlers a chance to be able to hold on to that pressure and create wicket opportunities, which didn't happen in the first 2 games. Overall, India will be very pleased that they managed to get both, facets of the game sorted out today.
Yeah, we must point out, though, something we missed out on the pre-shows, that Varun Chakravarti carried an injury into this game. So that's what triggered the move and not a tactical call. Ajit Agarkar, I'm just going to wait till I get connected to him. No, okay, not yet. We'll wait. But I know that there'd be a lot of people who'd look at Ashwin's performances, and I did bring this up in the pre-show too, and say, oh, why did he not play earlier? His experience could have been handy. After this performance, how would you assess it?
Oh, look, we all know what he's capable of doing, and at the end of the day, we know he's a very, very fine bowler, and I think it's a bit unfair to sort of compare him and Varun with regards to performance, because, as I touched on, it's a lot easier for a bowler or a bowling attack to be able to be bowling when there's plenty of runs on the board, because you've already got that scoreboard pressure. India didn't have that scoreboard pressure at any stage in the early parts of the tournament, so it just puts unfair pressure on the bowlers to be able to pull off a miracle and bowl a team out in 20 overs, which is near on impossible. So, not taking anything away from Ashwin, he bowled beautifully. We all know what he's capable of doing, but it's a job a lot easier for a bowler when you've got over 200 runs on the scoreboard.
Does this look like India's best bowling attack, though, from the evidence that we've seen? Shardul Thakur has still been kept faith with. Bhuvneshwar Kumar hasn't. You've been a big supporter of Bhuvi in this team. What do you make of it?
Oh, look, I still believe that Bhuvi provides more with the ball. Yes, Shuttle, gives you more depth for the batting, but I don't think you need depth for the batting with the Indian side. I think it's more about what you can get from a bowling perspective, and what Bhuvi can do is give you quality swing up front. And he's been one of India's best finishers along with Bumrah. So I think he provides more at the bookends of the game than what Shuttle Thakur does. So it's an interesting dilemma they face moving forward if they want to stick with this same combination or give Bhuvi another opportunity.
From what we've seen of Afghanistan, Ajit, evening, are you with me? Just here? Ajit, can you hear me?
Well, I hope so. I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay, let's hope it works now, shall we? Discussing India's takeaways, especially with ball. Now, you could say they outbatted Afghanistan effectively, Ajit. But this is perhaps the first proper look at India's bowling attack when they had some runs to play with. What did you make of it? The fact that Ashwin has put in a very fine performance in his first shift. What do India take away with the ball from this game?
Lots of good things. Obviously, I mean, the pressure's a lot less when you have 200 plus on the board. Uh, I'm glad Bumrah and Shami did what they did. The spinners were good. I think the third seamer is probably a spot that they have to have a closer look at. Shardul Thakur, perhaps a stopgap at this point, but that's certainly if Shami and Bumrah to the seamers the seamers are a thing that India perhaps have to look at because Bumrah is not going to play every game. You expect him as well. So seamers, there are lots of spin options for India at this point, particularly in T20 cricket. Seaming options, India might have to zero in on who they have to look at going forward. But otherwise, when you have 210 on the board, it is a lot easier for the bowlers to get the job done, and which they did, and it's an important win for India.
Yeah, I mean, they effectively outbatted Afghanistan. Maybe the chat on India's bowling combinations is better saved for the preview to the next game, which comes thick and fast now. It had to after that long gap between games one and two. But let's talk about Afghanistan. From what we've seen of them, Tom, this was quite an underwhelming performance. They were impressive against Pakistan. They could have given India a real challenge. It's not been a great day for Mohammad Nabi and his team.
No, I think again when you play on a very good batting surface, which this one clearly was, it brings, I suppose, their greatest strength, which is their bowling, back to the par. You put them on a surface that's a little bit slow or that's offering a better turn. They are a very, very dangerous side. But once you get a more even surface, a flatter surface, which brings the batsman in, suddenly it nullifies their quality and the mystery of their spin. We also got to recognise that one of their best spinners, Mujib, wasn't selected for this game. And again, I think, he's always in their best 11 in my view, regardless of venue, subject to fitness, obviously.
Yeah, again, I think there are some reports of Mujib not having fully recovered, so we're not quite
Yeah.
sure. But Nabi did point out due, so we're not quite sure if it was a tactical call or Mujib hasn't regained full fitness. But Ajit, they effectively lost it in the first innings, didn't they? Outbatted.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, all of us here perhaps haven't given India the due respect that they deserve, because of the couple of losses. I mean, they're still playing Afghanistan, and with all due respect to Afghanistan and how well they've done and how well they've progressed, India is a much better, more quality, much more formidable team. And if they play at their best, they should be beating Afghanistan comprehensively. Yes, T20 gets teams closer, but that's a proper hammering. I mean, India have got a couple of hammerings in this World Cup, but that's a proper
Yeah.
hammering, which is what you expect India to do, and I'm glad they've gone and done it. It'll help their confidence. Who knows? They're in the positive now with in terms of net run rate. Who knows how this group pans out? They're doing the thing that they need to do, and it was, like I said, it was a really good win. Obviously, set up by the batting.
Yeah, all right. It seems like this group should carry its logical conclusion, but you never know. Something tells me something funny is going to happen over the next few days. But anyway, let's come to that when we get there. Before I leave you, though, I'd like a TV umpire's view of Ajit Agarkar and Tom Moody for 19.2. I think it was 18.2. Mohammad Shami to Karim Janat. Ravindra Jadeja was celebrating. Alimdar said it touched the ground. What did Ajit Agarkar make of it?
I initially thought it was out, and the more you see it, the only thing you have to see is was he in control of the ball, and
Yep.
perhaps if you look at it closely, it felt like he was getting control of the ball. So that's the only thing that went against him. It probably the ball went to the right fielder as well. So I mean, maybe the right decision was made in the end. If it had gone the other way, you wouldn't mind it either. But it's about whether you have control of the ball or not. Yeah, it's a tough one for the third umpire. So either way, I mean, I don't want to sit on the fence and say either way wouldn't matter. The more you look at it, perhaps if you didn't have full control of the ball, then it's the right decision that's been made.
One thing is the objective view of what you saw, Tom. The other is that the soft signal was out, so he had to be sure that he's seen something to overturn it.
Yeah, again, once it goes upstairs, it was always going to be not out. On the field, from the naked eye, to me it looked out. And before we had the third umpire checking catches like this, and the game's been going on for many, many years, there's been many batsmen have been walking off the field with that situation. I think once, you get that the position where the third umpire looks at it from many different angles, there's always that question of doubt to whether the fielder had full control, whether his fingers were under the ball, all those things that we'll never know just with a TV replay in slow-mo, even if they magnify it in. But end of the day, I think I agree with Ajit. I think that the right decision was made once it went upstairs.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave it there. You might think it's insignificant. The result was anyway going one way. Well, Mohammad Shami could have possibly picked up 2 hat-tricks against Afghanistan in back-to-back games at ICC events. He got Rashid Khan next ball, so he'd probably miss out on that. But it was a good day for Shami, who has had a tough tournament, as we all know, for reasons beyond the cricket field. So well done to him. This wraps up our coverage. Thank you to Tom Moody and Ajit Agarkar. We will see you tomorrow. Very happy Diwali to you both. Tom, enjoy it in your part of the world. Ajit, you as well. Have a safe Diwali, and I will see you in a couple of days.
You too, everyone as well.
Thank you very much.
Diwali.
All our viewers too. Be safe, celebrate responsibly, and do take care of yourselves as you celebrate another Diwali. It's a happier Diwali for the Indian team, who finally got some points on the board in this T20 World Cup. We'll see you tomorrow. Big double header. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh bow to the tournament. Can they spoil Australia and the West Indies party en route? We'll find out. Join us then for Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket T20 Timeout powered by Dell.
Maruti Suzuki's People Technology presents Suzuki Connect with Navigate to Car and many other features.
Watch more, feel more, Dell.